Okay, we got a Timberjack here to work on. Nothing major, just a little bit of tinkering around with. This is from Finkelstein Logging. He's a jackass. Okay, today we got a Timberjack 225D work on. Might be windy, you might not be able to look at it.
Windy, so you might not be able to look at it. We're going to learn today, folks.
Looks like it was bought originally from Lyons Equipment. Lyons Sawmill and Logging Equipment and Supplies Incorporated. Low Valley, New York, Circleville, Ohio. Try calling that number, see if that gets you them guys. But it looks like a pretty straight tractor. Got some pretty nice rubber on it. I see it's got a little bit of an oil leak on the ground there already. Got to fix the blade cylinder leaks. Which I wouldn't even think a logger would think that was leaking, but it is. That's a pretty good catch. You can tell it has been leaking, but these are loggers you're dealing with. 353 Detroit. This is, I don't know what year this is. Serial tag is gone. Should be stamped in there, but must be painted over too thick. But it's an older tractor because it's got the aluminum plates, which are mostly missing because they get smashed off there. But it's got all the original badges on it. Later on they went to just decals on there. But it's got the more enclosed cab. The early ones didn't have that. They just had nothing here on both sides. So I don't know what year it is, but it's pretty straight. Got the manual park brake upgrade that was given away for free. Okay, hopefully you can see this pretty good. But this is the original parking brake, or whatever they call it. I think they call it like a micro lock brake, or a Mico lock brake, or Mico lock brake. I don't know what they call it. But basically there's a little valve here that was in the brake line between the master cylinder and the slave. And basically you would step on the brakes and hold the brakes and set the brakes like you would normally be using them. And then you flip this lever, and then that would hold pressure between here and the slave cylinder holding the brakes on. Unless the slave cylinder leaked, or the line leaked, or this thing leaked. So they had a bunch of problems with it, and I think people got killed and hurt, and all the things you could think of that would happen when a parking brake releases when you're not having it. There's a little picture of the valve and how it was plumbed up. And then I thought there was a picture of the whole thing. No, that's a picture we just looked at. That's not the picture we looked at. There it is. It's called a brake valve. So it looks like this little deal here, you rotated that, and that little cutout would shut off the passage by the looks of it. Either holding the oil or letting it flow by. So you had a couple little O-rings and a backup ring that was protecting you from dying. Not the mechanical cable break or nothing like that, but this was just a bad deal. It's got the rolled rear fenders that were not original to this machine. The guy that had it before, the jackass that owns it now, added those. And those are kind of nice because they let the logs roll up when you're going around a corner, instead of getting caught up on the tires and wanting to be carried over around on the tires.
A lot of these machines got upgraded with these fenders. You could go over to Lyons Equipment in Little Valley and buy a set of them. They usually had them sitting there. They used to take a lot of 200 series skidders, and they would extend the frames and move the axles out, and then they would get out, I guess they would get sent out and put bucket lifts and aerial lifts and stuff on them. So you could get these fenders pretty cheap, and was a great upgrade to these old machines.
This is a winch we fixed earlier this winter, and he says that it does not hold a load sometimes. And he says the heavier the load, the better it holds, or I don't know. He's such a bullshitter. You can't believe the guy, anything he tells you. He claims he's got it adjusted correctly because he knows how to adjust it, which he don't know shit. So I'm assuming he's got it adjusted so it'll free spool, so a girl could pull it out. So probably there's not enough travel for the spring to apply enough pressure on the brake band and lets it slip. Would be my guess. But the fuel tank's nice and straight. Usually that's all smashed in from sliding into trees. Got the badges on this side. This cylinder doesn't leak. Have to get a upholstery guy down here to run it. We'll check the center pins and walking beam pins to see how good they are. See this last time I put filters on it. Ooh, a year ago. 6/1 of 22. Way to keep up on stuff. Whatever that is. Of course, he's got kind of a retard rig in here.
Okay, I don't mean to offend any of my 11 viewers if you run this style rigging on your machine, but I'm dealing with a guy that's brain damaged, and upholstery guy gets me into this stuff, so sometimes I get frustrated and I talk kind of ignorantly, so I apologize if I offended anyone.
Cuts up old truck springs, coil springs, so you can slide them up here, and then the last one goes on the hook. It keeps the rest of them from sliding off, so you could have basically unlimited amount of chokers on there. But he's like the only guy I ever see do that. Everybody else has got sliders, but whatever, he's cheap. Slider costs money. You get somebody to make you a ring for nothing. Here's the ring I'm talking about. So I think he uses this ring and then a cable slide. I don't know. He does a bunch of stupid shit. He's retarded. So I'll get to working on that. Got a pretty nice seat. The upholstery guy could fix that up for you right there before that goes complete shit. Oh yeah, we got to fix the battery tray too. The battery tray's apparently rusted out. Rub it on the drive shaft. I don't think it's anywhere close to the drive shaft. But whatever, we'll fix that too. Charge you for that. Okay, so one of our first projects here, it's not on our list of stuff to do because that's not the problem, is we got to put a shut-off cable on this. Because the instructions are you put it in fourth gear and stall it to shut it off. Because the problem is not with the cable, it's with the governor control, or the whatever you want to call it on the engine. Well, me and upholstery guy, we didn't know the cable was bad. We pulled on the cable, it shut it off, but the cable worked so hard that I had to hold the cable and he had to pound it back in. But that's not the problem. So we're going to look into that and see what the real problem is. It's not the cable. I'm pretty sure it's the cable, but okay, so we got the hoods off of here. We're checking this out. And this looks like it's kind of just kind of jiggles and jiggles back and forth. Pretty sure that cable is just seized right up. So we're going to unhook it at the shut-off lever, unhook it here, get the cable out of there, and see what's really going on. Okay, so you can see it up there. I've got the cable unhooked underneath the exhaust. I'll come back here and oh yeah, the cable's not the problem. It's supposed to work like that. What a dumbass. Okay, we got our fuel shutoff out. Assume this needs to be connected to the cable. And usually they don't come with two hose clamps with a piece of fuel line in between there. And with all that said, it still works really hard. So, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why we can't reuse that. And we got our lever assembly out.
Tune in next week for lever assembly rebushing.
Okay, we got the cable mounted up here. We had to make a new bracket, or a better bracket. Made a new clip to hold the cable down. Welded a nut underneath there, so it's just a bolt going through there. And then we kind of made up a little bit of a cable clamp there. Fixed up a little bit better than what they had. So, may change this. The cable's a little bit too short. May redesign this bracket, maybe gain an inch or two over here, but probably won't do nothing. It works. Cable's a little bit short. Should drill a hole through the firewall, put a grommet, but probably won't do nothing. Okay, we got the new control in there. Works with a finger. Huh, starter's going to need the next thing we need to work on. Yeah, I really don't think that was the problem. What a jackass. Why do I do this?